I handle it anymore.
Chris called in.
Yeah, he's on there.
Oh, good. Is that what you told me when you came out of there?
What's that?
You said something to me when you came out of there.
She was coming.
Oh, okay, that's what you said. Yeah, but I turn off my ringer when I'm in meetings. And so, no, when I was in the finance meeting, I turned off my ringer. So, nobody's gonna answer.
It's really spotty in here.
Theoretically, but
Yeah.
It is something we have to work on.
you can use this.
We have friendly internet, not very fast.
Just take the top sheet. I don't want all of it either. That's the stuff Todd sent us to read. Yeah. Hold on.
We'll skip that part.
On my agenda. You got Todd on your brain agenda?
All right. You ready? Everybody else ready? All right. Call to order. Do a roll call. Oh, yeah, roll call.
I do. Councilwoman Iverson,
Here.
Here.
Councilman Moss,
Here.
and Mayor Miller.
And we need someone to excuse
I
Councilmember
make a
Amsbury.
motion that we excuse Jenna Amsbury.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any modifications to the agenda or acceptance thereof?
I make the motion, we accept the agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Next motion's yours. Aye.
All right. All right. So next will be the public hearing. Just so, oh, why am I yelling? You're right
There
there.
we go.
I just want to make sure you're here because I know the heater in the back.
It's
Yeah.
a good thing you're here. We need a public.
Yes. So with the public, what we would normally do in the past, you'd have your planning commission, they would do one public hearing and then the council would do another. Since we haven't been able to fill that yet, we're going to run two different public hearings. So there's one this meeting and then the one the next meeting. So we can give everybody a chance to try to speak up on it because it's also really detailed and there's a lot of information to try to go through. I knew everybody wouldn't be prepared, but just trying to get it started. So if anybody has anything they would like to discuss about the,
Is there a flag?
we don't have flags here.
Just curious.
Normally, we don't when there's no flags.
Really?
Yes.
We always did in school when we were at flag. First one to vote when we stacked.
All right. So is there anybody who would like to speak for the public hearing for the Parks and Rec plan? Okay.
That was Anne Marie.
Was that?
That was Anne Marie that walked out.
No, it's Todd. Emery's right there.
I'm gonna go home.
See, Emery's got the hand.
Oh, that. Oh, look what Todd found. Todd found a flag.
We'll reverse order then. I'm closing the public hearing. And now we'll go to the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Guys, look at you, Bob. You flunked. You flunked.
So next we have a public comment for any of the agenda items. I know it's an extensive list today. If anybody had any comments that they want to make today? No? You three are easy today, at least so far. All right, consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda or a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
I
All right. Consent agenda is approved.
I'd like to say something real quick.
Yes.
when we speak, if there is anybody on there, we're gonna have to talk loud enough that they can hear
Yes.
through the speaker.
Sorry.
Because this room is not good for that speaker.
Yes.
You don't want to close it out. Or loud enough it records.
Yeah. Next is staff reports. Was there? Get to that. Way down in the middle somewhere. Any questions on staff reports? Still. Meetings. Nothing? Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so now we'll do new business. So we have comprehensive plan update. So see if I'm on the right one. That was sent to you all. There's 2 different plans on that one to choose from. Did Councilmember Amberry give you her score sheet yet? So I haven't gotten that. Okay.
Yes.
She has one that she was working on. Oh,
We haven't, no? I thought it was an Excel spreadsheet, but
no, this was a Word document, so 1 pager. So we
Oh.
were scoring the 2 of them. Some of
Okay.
us did that. So me, Joy, Jenna was supposed to do it. Todd's done it. So we have 3 of them done. It
okay,
was just comparing the 2 of them line by line. There's a lot of different categories we had to figure out.
Okay.
Just trying to see where they stacked up.
Gotcha.
So everybody's aware. I'm trying to remember which one was which. Not BHC, was SCJ Alliance. So that was the one that the 3 of us, not by much, it was only like a little margin that it came out ahead. It just seemed like it hit more of the categories. But really, you could go either way. So it's kind of up to you on which plan you all want. Or if you have any questions thereof about the plans.
I'm trying to think, was that the one with like 10 different people on it, or was that the one with the one project manager?
It was the one with the 10 people,
Okay,
that Lacey.
okay.
Yes.
So, Todd, do you have any insight on our preferences between the 2 companies?
I don't, they both are very good. BAC consultants, they provide our building official right now, Larry Skinner. So we've worked with them for years. We worked with SCG Alliance on several projects. And done great work for us. It's been favorite city, so either one is a good fit.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only 2 major differences I noticed was SGJ had more people that had varied skill sets. And the amount of time it would take for them to complete the plans, where BHC was next year, September, and the other one is February. So they're both going to take a long time, but definitely was a 6-month difference between the 2. So
A lot of the answers were pretty comparable from both.
yes,
I guess the biggest thing I saw, because I'm a visual person, was the formatting. I preferred on one over the other, and I can't remember which one it was.
you had gone with SGJ also.
Yeah, because I thought if that, the formatting was so clear and concise, I thought that when other people are reading it, it was easier to look at and find your information. But as for competency, they both were pretty darn even to me.
Yeah.
And that was the formatting in their proposal. I'm just saying if they use that type of formatting in their actual final report. you know.
I mean, I think if you guys have been through it as detailed as it sounds, and you have a preference, then I looked at both of them and I thought they were both great. So I didn't really have any concerns with either one of them.
How about both of you?
I don't have concerns with either one.
Okay. So would you just like to, I'll let you, I'm not gonna influence either way. You decide which one you want to go with.
So I make a
The-
motion to pursue SCJ Alliance for the plan.
Okay,
I'd second that.
second. All right, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? All right, so selected. All right, so next is the Wildcat Creek Aquifer Sustainability Plan update. And we only had one bid on that one.
Yeah.
I read through it and I was actually impressed at how much detail. And they also have experience with a lot of other water rights, aquifer situations. I mean, like a lot of experience. It was really impressive. So I'm comfortable, me personally, them working on it. But again, it's how you all feel about it.
I thought it was very complete. It was very thorough. I thought it was reasonably priced. I'm fine with it.
Sound like you have a question?
No,
um,
actually,
okay.
I actually missed this sample, so I
Okay.
actually don't have any comment on this.
Okay. It's on Teams, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
you can,
it's on
you'll be able to.
Teams.
look at it.
Yeah, I have the teams.
Have we used them before, Todd?
No,
This is a new company,
well, new to us.
new to us. that's-
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't see any reason to look any further. We need another motion.
Yes, yeah, we have to
Okay.
approve the plan.
So this one was ER,
EA,
EA.
Yep.
I make a motion, we go with EA for the,
all in favor?
I,
I'm just gonna abstain because I didn't see it.
Okay, that's fine. Any opposed? All right. Did you get that? He abstained? Okay. All right, next is the light and power standards update. And I'm not even going to pretend I can explain this one.
So this is just where you're going to make it this time. It's drafted into ordinance. History of it, our standards that we currently have that we are following are 1951, which is ordinance 92, I believe it is, 94, ordinance 94. So, Paul has been asking to update standards for quite a long time. We finally got around to the standards update, so it's Paul, myself, yes, a couple council members to look at it also, so it's all going and once we have everything ironed out, we can send it to Chris over the drafting order form to get this, see it. The next council meeting.
I did have one question, just in terms of formatting. So for example, like 13-16-060 deposit was scratched out because it's addressed in 1320. Are you going to bump everything up or are you going to leave that open in case you put something else in that later? I don't care either way. I'm just
I'm
curious.
gonna defer to Chris Coker on that.
Okay.
I'm not sure how he'd like to do it.
Okay, because I can go either way. I just don't know what you all were planning. So I just, like I said, I was just curious.
Todd, I talked to Paul too, before we bring the final ordinance to council.
Yep.
On having two of you and then Max and I with Public Works, sitting at the meeting, go over everything.
Yeah.
As soon as we can find a date that works for our schedules, I'd like to do that.
Okay.
It's fine with me.
More than happy to do it.
Hey, Chris, this is Chris Coker.
Yes,
Hey, so you're talking about the blanks for like the fees and things like that?
no, so there's like a whole section, right? So what, the one I was looking at was 13.16.060 says deposits. We struck out the
Yep.
whole thing because it's referenced somewhere else. So my question is, do we just, the state does this, that's why I'm asking. Sometimes we just leave it blank because we're going to put something else in there later. And sometimes we move everything up and fill those gaps. I was just curious of which one we were going to do. I don't have a preference.
Well, if we're removing it, we'll just move everything up and it would eliminate the section.
Okay,
And if this eventually gets squared away, then it would get dealt with by the code reviser.
yes.
The only thing to caution about that is if we have any other ordinances that reference this and we move everything, that we would need to make sure that those ordinances reference.
Yep.
So do a scan of the whole thing.
Any other questions or concerns about this? All right,
for me.
so we will go to asset management system update. And I'll defer that one to you as well, because you're a lot more familiar with it than I am.
We went out with an RFP, pre-stated with for asset management system. 2022, we budgeted for an asset management system. You can see 2 proposals back. Only one of them met our specifications in the proposal, which is the active model. Anyway,
Sounds Russian.
I've met with the guy, Kevin Cornelis met with the guy. We've got demos of it, and we both really like the system. I think it is a good system. Guys, local, I think he's out of Issaquah, northern area up there. And he's kind of he's been doing it for a few years. He doesn't have a lot of clients, but he likes to keep his clients here. So, yeah, we like the system. We like to move forward with it. Just all.
Any questions on this one? Or we'll entertain a motion.
And I'm sorry, this is a question. This is an as-built system,
Yeah.
essentially. Okay. And it'll get all of our stuff and put it into a cloud so we can access that to look at storm sewer, to look at any kind of utility. Okay,
And they can manage all of our assets that we have. So if we do a maintenance on a hydrant, we put it right in our phone. We may pay this day, we pay for the light power change pole, they put that in there.
okay,
Change pole. Also, it had work order. So they'll keep track of our inventory, and when we put in a work order, we do the work, it takes the out of the inventory and actually tracks it for us. So when we do a project and say we're getting low on pipe, it'll say, hey, you're a low pipe, you need to order more pipe.
oh, that's cool.
Also, there's a cemetery section of it, which will GIS every headstone in the cemetery. And somebody will be able to click on the map and say, I want to find John Doe, click on it, and it will give them right to the spot in the cemetery.
Find a way will do that too.
So, then it's cool stuff. And then also, what Kevin really likes is we can fit in our as-built plans that we have for the treatment plant.
Mhm.
And it'll be on there. So if we were working on inside a building on a pressure line, for example, we can go in there and blow it up, and then we can actually make those work on this, replace this on this day. That way we don't have to go out to the map, look at it, and then go back. So it's a really cool system.
Did I also see a module in here that allocates people's hours to wherever they're working?
Yeah, we can do that also.
Is that something we're looking at, or is it just something that comes with the program?
That's something that comes with the program. So, yeah, we can track that. If we want to get that much detail, we can track that.
The GIS products, will the city own those, or will they be like proprietary to this company?
The city owns the GIS product.
Okay.
We currently have our GIS receiver that's down to within an inch of everything, and then we pay a license to our GIS for that and Esri also.
Okay, but for the like the actual mapping products, like the data that's created, like it's gonna be like stored on like some cloud server. Will the city actually own that data, or is basically the city paying this company to create that data, and then the city will like have to basically lease access to it like in perpetuity?
I believe the city owns it.
Okay.
I'll double check this to make sure, but I've never talked about that. The city basically will own their own stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept Active Bob as our new asset management program.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so passed. All right, so next one is the Kelly Connect for the copier. So Right, Kelly is in the main office.
Correct.
We had Rico in the police department. So one, this is unifying, so we're under one system. Two, we save like $3 and change a month, and we actually get more benefit out of it versus what we were getting from the Rico. So we want to transition over to Kelly for the other side and make it all unified. That's what this is. So as long as a motion to accept this contract, so I can sign it tonight or tomorrow.
Make a motion to accept the Kelly Connect contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay. Okay, next is the interlocal agreement with Aberdeen. So I talked to their deputy chief, who actually lives just outside of McCleary. And we're going to be able to, with this agreement, use their firing range for our officers to do their qualifications. And they have instructors that they can, there'll be an extra charge and we'll kind of negotiate that at that time. But for example, our new rifles that we have nobody who can qualify on, they have instructors that can help us get qualified. And we plan on setting that up for this summer. So this agreement goes to the end of the year and helps us get on their current range. They're actually building a new range right now. They have the land, they just haven't broke ground yet. Their public works has to do something first. When they build that, we'll still have access. We'll reestablish a new agreement. They're not going to raise their rates. They're going to charge the same. So it's not like it'll cost more because they're getting this new range, but they expect it to be state of the art, moving targets, all kinds of
They
stuff.
still using the one out there in Lake.
The one that got mudslide, yeah, they dug it back out. So that's what they're using because they got the property. They just haven't started building it yet. So
You said that their fire instructor and training our guys. at
Yes.
Additional cost.
yes,
So we have an officer who is qualified to do that. We can opt that out.
yes.
Okay.
This is just to use the range.
Okay.
That rate's like not negotiated yet or anything. We would cross that road if we.
Yeah.
can't go, yeah.
Is that what we use right now?
No,
using this
it's
right
kind of ad hoc. They just get wherever they can find something.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
So you find that fine.
I was just, yeah, that berm out behind the airport.
gotcha. Okay. And then that's just a scheduling thing with City of Aberdeen
Yep.
and we go down there and then our officers able to like go practice, or is it just for qualifications only?
No, you can practice. And
Okay.
they have other weapons. So if we want to purchase something, I'm trying to think, like pepper guns, like they have other munitions that they're qualified on. So if like there's something we want to get,
We can-
then they will help us get qualified on those as well.
Okay, cool.
Just got a quick question. Do the officers have to supply their own ammo in their target practice like that? They're having like that, they have to supply it or just.
Not that I'm aware of.
Fire department?
I believe we supply it.
We still have.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, and honestly, I don't know what the actual policy is. It could be a department by department of maybe the limit on how much you get. I honestly don't know if we limit or not, or if we have in the past. Yeah. Some limit, some don't. It maybe at the budget.
What we currently have to do is we take the older animal, let them go target practice with the older animal, and then the new animal they use for field day life. So, they go through the shelf.
Any other questions about this agreement?
Mm-mm.
Any issues?
No issues.
All right.
I make a motion to accept the agreement, the interlocal agreement with Aberdeen.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. So the next one is public safety testing. I was talking to some of our officers and some of the other departments. And so I looked into this one. And I know you had this question, I didn't get back to you. So they cover police and fire, but police-wise, it was Ocean Shores, Westport, Olympia, Tumwater, Lacey, State Patrol, Liquor Control Board, Mason, Shelton. There's a few others. I'm kind of running out. Elma. So matter of fact, I know one of Elma's officers actually came from up north somewhere because they were connected. So they get a wider pool. One of their testing centers is in Olympia, and they'll take care of the written test and the physical fitness test. They can do all the background if you want them to as well. That is additional charge, so it's not included in this.
Okay.
And then, so like for us being a new agency, if we sign this agreement and we put it in, everybody who's already tested, they will email all those people out and say, oh, hey, there's this new department. And so what if they're, let's just say in Olympia, maybe they're not high enough on the list and they're having trouble getting on. Well, 20 minutes away, they might be willing to send their stuff over. We can either accept where we pay the $11, or we can have them charge. It's up to us. I mean, whatever you want to agree with. And then they'll send us all their information. All that goes to the Civil Service Commission, who will then rank them and do all the interviews from there. And then after that point, then we start doing all the background checks and stuff.
That's cool.
But they'll take care of it. It'll be a lot more efficient. Like I said, there's a bigger pool. They do testing, if I remember, let's see, Vancouver, Olympia, Seattle, and Spokane. I think those are the 4 areas. And so potentially you could get applicants from outside the area that maybe if they want to take a chance, send their information here. And if it works out, maybe they'll move here or something. So it's what, 600 for the year. It's paid quarterly. I mean, we can't cancel at any time. I just figure we at least try for a year and see how it goes. I'm hoping it'll kind of increase the number of people. I do have one applicant, a new applicant that doesn't have any experience. I just haven't done anything with it because it was literally as I was talking to this guy. So if we agree to this, then I'll set him up to go there to do that testing and have them take care of that.
And I know I went through this several years ago when I applied for the board.
Mhm.
I mean,
That was the other one. Yep.
it's a legit operation. I mean, they're really professional in how they do the whole testing. And all that.
Yeah.
All of your background information is really organized too, so you provide like everything that's necessary for the background investigation in like your applicant profile. So I use PST when I applied for WFW law enforcement job a few years back too. Yeah, it's pretty organized, pretty impressive. And it's kind of like they're like platform allows applicants to like shotgun their applications out to like a bunch of departments at once. And so I mean a lot of people think the first 4 are like included in the price, and then it's like $7
Yeah.
or $10 after that.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people that just like want to move to a region will, they'll just check like 15-20 boxes and pay the fees just to get their applications to as many departments as possible. So
And they have ways, so if they have an applicant who can't pay, there's 2 different ways. Either we can cover that. So for example, Clown County, for the month of March, they were paying for anybody who was applying. They just provided vouchers and they were covering all the costs. But if PST has somebody who says, hey, I financially can't afford this, they have financial ways. There's something they have to apply separately, but they will cover the cost. So it's not like, they've never had an issue where somebody couldn't afford to pay and they just didn't test. So.
No, this is cool. And I like that there's other local agencies, it's not up north, up in
Like a
King
Seattle.
County,
Yeah.
Snohomish County, where they're offering, I've seen 20K hiring incentives right now. You
Yeah.
can't compete with that. So that's nice. There's agencies around here that are local.
And they do have, it's not part of this agreement, it's something we can talk later. It's like, so when I mentioned the last meeting about possibly creating the sergeant position,
Mhm.
they also do promotional testing, so they could take care of that aspect for us.
You're hiring officers, do they have to have a certain type of education for college education? Because I know like, I believe that I was listening to the radio the other day, they were talking about a lot of these agencies are just taking high school.
Yes,
And then as long as they can pass all the written and everything else, then it's no requirement of college.
correct.
Because there's so many people, they can't fill the positions.
College was a way of weeding people out.
Right.
I know troopers, I believe, did that for a while and some of the other state agencies, but now because it's harder to get them, you start listening to those requirements and going back to what it was.
So does everything go through this company then? So if somebody, talks to Joe Blow and he wants to apply, does he need to go through this company?
Yes. So they would do all the paperwork and everything through them. And then they would mark us as the agency that they want all their records to go to when they're done with the testing. And then PST sends it to us.
Okay.
it's like comparable to like taking the SAT and like sending it to colleges. It's
Yeah.
like
I think this is great because it's hard to hire people today for
Yeah.
anything.
And I'm noticing that a lot of people don't, as much as we're trying to get it out there, a lot of people don't even know we exist, let alone.
Right.
I mean, I've honestly had some people didn't even know we had a police department,
Yeah.
let alone vacancies. So I'm just hoping this gets us something more on the radar and more people will see us from, bigger areas that maybe can't get on. They're qualified, they're great. It's just so competitive in a bigger department that they're willing to maybe come here.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
Mhm.
And some people like living rurally.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Mhm.
well, look at our town. We got people from Shelton, Mason, Olympia, Thurston, I've seen when I'm walking around, we got them from all over the place. So,
Hey, Chris,
yes.
Just going back to this again, I was looking at the additional services that could be added on.
Which
Page
page?
140, it's number 2. You had said that they could do other things.
Yes,
Are they equipped if we needed them to, that they could do poly, psych, all that? Or
yes.
is that still separate?
Nope, they can do all of it. Well, it is separate. We'd have to add that on.
Mhm.
I didn't include that. I was just trying to get the initial stuff because we already had those set up.
Okay,
But I'm not opposed to them doing all of it.
okay.
They have like a pool of contractors for that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's randomized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion to pursue PST for our recruitment process for police department.
Okay, before you do that, I just
Mhm.
want to be clear because there's other options. Am
Mhm.
I
Oh,
allowed to
gotcha.
select
Yeah,
the other
okay.
options or do you
Yeah.
prefer I don't? I'm good either way.
I personally think the more recruitment, the more we can put our name out there. I mean, for $11.
I don't see 100 people applying, so it's
No,
not like we're gonna
yeah,
get
no.
billed by a bunch of people.
I mean, this is, in my eyes, this is a necessity to get our name out there
Yeah.
and to get applicants. So recruiting at the written exam, I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer, but
I agree.
Yep, I agree as well.
Okay,
The financial hardship waiver, the third one down, is something I would consider as well. I imagine you have to like show documentation.
mhm.
yeah, they figure all that out for us.
Yeah.
It's not like we have to figure it out, so.
I mean, that's $84. It's a lot more
Yeah.
per candidate,
Yeah, it's just not,
but I imagine there'd be a lot less people that qualify for that.
They don't get a lot
Yeah.
that fall under that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we'll include that in your motion.
yes,
So,
yeah, sorry, everybody.
no, that's fine. Like I said, I just want to make sure we're all clear on the same page.
Yeah.
so.
To clarify, it's both options?
Yes. Okay.
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
My 60-second video.
I don't know.
What 60-second video?
It's an option. for-
Yeah,
Oh,
because they have virtual options with them now too.
Welcome to McCleary.
Okay, so next is the assistance in covering museum utilities. I sent a message to Mr. Coker. I don't know if he was able to dig it up because my understanding is he did the research on that.
So this, I don't know if I don't know, I forget when you sent the email, Chris, if I saw it, but so these issues with, they're looking for basically us to make a like a donation type of situation for the utilities.
Yeah, for forgiveness. I mean, I don't know, Joy, you explained it to me. You might be able to explain it better of that back history because
So what we talked about in the past, Chris, and I know Brenda, you worked with her, was that the city needs a visitor center. And the museum agreed to offer a visitor center in the museum, which would be
Yeah.
open weekends. And based on that, then the city would help cover some of the costs of the utilities. We didn't ever say how much it costs, but the idea, and even on our comprehensive plan, it talks about having a visitor center, and we have already created that in the museum. So we have right now it's a board that has all the businesses on it. There's some pamphlets on it with the things available locally. And there was also discussion about the city putting in a monitor that has more information about the community, calendar, et cetera. And that hasn't been done, but it hasn't been done downtown either. But at this point, a committee was formed to make sure that we had a visitor center in the museum.
Okay, so how much, so what we don't know, so the issue with this is obviously gift of public funds. And it's got to serve a fundamental governmental purpose. The definitions of that is always pretty gray. once, I mean, if there's no cost involved, I don't think there's any problem, of course. If we want to put maps or something in there, that's no big deal. If it's something the city, I mean, I think we could probably sell it as a gift of, as a funding of something that would put forward a fundamental governmental purpose. But, it's always good to kind of run those things by the auditor. The problem is if we do that, they're going to be more conservative than I am even on this. How much we talk, I mean, do we have any idea how much we're talking about?
What's our monthly bill?
Our monthly utility bill with the city is between $400 and $500, and I don't know how much is electricity and how much is water sewer. I don't know the breakdown.
And Joy, didn't this come up maybe a couple years ago?
Last year, we discussed it quite a bit.
And didn't we decide not to do it because we were concerned it was a gift of public funds?
No, we did not. In fact, we thought it was going to be happening last year, but it never got brought before city council.
Was that when we were talking about moving council chambers to?
Yeah, there was a lot of different
we decided-
discussions that we hadn't sorted out yet.
Okay.
But that was a different conversation.
okay.
Yeah.
I'd want to have Anne Marie run that by the auditor's office. I mean, it's one of those gray ones. It'd be nice to get an opinion from them. But $500 a month is obviously pretty significant.
Well, and that's why we were talking about, a portion of it.
Yeah,
But there was no decision made last year, but we did discuss it quite a bit. Mostly because it never got brought to the council. We didn't have a firm answer. So I think having Anne Marie check it with the auditor is a great idea.
yeah, that's what I do. I mean,
Okay.
I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's really going to depend on how much of a presence the city has there. I mean, there's certain, I guess we don't, I mean, I'm trying to think of, do we have do we get any funding, Anne Marie, from our, do we have any, the tax, it's a tax added on to like hotels and things like that. I know what.
Cultural events,
The what?
for cultural events, which is. like
Yes.
Library falls under, we don't get into the back on that
Okay,
regularly.
right.
But I know we didn't have to pay the libraries, they were in the same building, but they paid all the libraries, even though they have separate events. They just ran under our city hall.
This is Linda Thompson. She's the president of the museum.
I don't know all I should know about this, but I believe there are tourist dollars that we could get from the county. It just popped into my mind.
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, because it's a tax that's added on to like hotel rooms and things like that. And the name of it is escaping me, but there might be some, I mean, like I said, there may be some funding out there. If we get cut off here, there might be some funding out there as well. But again, I think for purposes of the question that I was asked, my conservative answer is I think we need to be conservative on it because I am worried about the gift of public funds.
Right.
But I would run it by the auditors in the form that we want to run it by the auditors. Look, we have a visitor center contained within a nonprofit museum building, and we'd like to, we get that serves a fundamental purpose of government. It brings people, it informs people about the history of McCleary, and we would like to contribute or chip in to the energy costs, the electric bill. I think if you pitch it that way, I think it's a better sale.
Every single one of us living, working, playing are part of McCleary history. Even tonight's meeting is part of McCleary's history. And I just want to see everybody playing together and paying together, I guess.
Sure.
But, and we do massive amounts of fundraisers. We're hitting the ground every single week. Sometimes, well, this week we had 3 going at once, and we're old. We need help, but, you know, beyond that, if we want to be a part of the city, we'd like to promote the city. I mean, we're doing that anyway, with or without, you know, the compensation, but, you know, put a sign on the out front, visitor center, have people stop in. We had Chris up at the museum a week or so ago, and I invited him to give us ideas of what he would like to see up there. And so we want to be a partner with the city. And I guess that's about all I.
Yeah, and I think the issue is the city really wants to be a partner with the museum. I just have to make sure we can legally contribute.
I appreciate that. I worked in a public hospital for many, many years.
Yeah.
And I worked with her. We know about gifting the public
Yes,
funds.
So I want to make sure it's legal, above board, and transparent. So I appreciate your considering it.
Okay. Any other questions, comments on that? Did you have any questions of us? Were you good? Okay.
And Chris, just one more thing. So Anne Marie, you probably already have a bat phone to the auditor's office. They should be able to give you a pretty quick on that.
Oh, I should have an answer tomorrow. I didn't-
Okay.
First thing. It's
Okay.
just for the budget money, a couple days, but it would be fairly quick.
She's gonna email him tomorrow, so.
So next we have the FCS rate study contract. I don't know if you have any questions on that one. Close those.
Yeah, Todd, sorry. So we were talking earlier about the different tiers or whatever. Have we ever looked at, and during our last rate study, did we do we were talking about Simpson
Right.
specifically. Did we do that last time?
No, we didn't.
Okay,
It was just kind of a general overview of it, so.
okay,
There are all the industrial customer, they went over the industrial rate. They're looking at it from the point of, that's your only industrial customer, that's your largest customer, you want to make sure that you are charging correctly. We have all our documentation of those, so. Since we can go say, look, this is exactly what we came up with. This is what we charge. Industrial rate.
So do we already have this $80,000 built in this year's budget for this?
Yes.
Okay, and then if we go above that,
Additional fund. 14,700 from light power and 5,400 each from water sewer.
okay, and their budgets would be able to handle that if we did that.
Yes,
Those numbers are above the 80?
yes.
Okay.
So we're basically covered if we go and include Simpson.
Yes, if you like.
Okay.
and how, sorry, go ahead.
I was just, go ahead.
How often do we do these?
Every 5 years.
5 years, so that difference, like, I don't know what the rates are, but would we recoup that difference in the 5 years? Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
the difference in price between 80 and,
More than likely we would, just based off the recommended rates, but it'll come up to, it's gonna be eye-opening for you guys, because we are charging too low for which we are, with our current comprehensive, our capital improvement plan is, our debts, our operation maintenance. So I guarantee they're gonna rate, or want you to rate it probably somewhere between 25 and 35%.
Didn't they say that last time though, and we chose not to?
Yes,
And that's
So,
part of the reason why we're gonna see that gap is because we keep trying to minimize the increase while meanwhile rates to us from Bonneville are increasing. So
right.
we're growing at
rates
this
aren't
much.
Increasing, but our, the maintenance costs.
Mhm.
and capital improvements are increasing.
Okay,
And it's without every fund. Yeah.
okay,
So, I mean, eventually it'll be up to you to set the rate and, you know, we either gonna, won't recoup the cost slowly or you can recoup it quick. So,
Not if we don't, not if we want to live here.
right.
and then that ordinance that you guys stayed, was it a stay last year? There was an ordinance. Yeah. I wasn't on council, but I was in the meeting where there's a equation in the ordinances that are supposedly supposed to set the rate, but we kind of overrode that last year.
So,
That was
They-
only 1 year.
There was a set increase and we stated, I think.
yes,
Okay, and that'll kick back in this year though,
yes.
because it was just
I-
a stay for a
yeah.
year.
We only did it for that year.
Okay,
So yeah, if that comes up again, we'd have to do another one this fall to address that.
And I'd like to see the ordinance rewritten
mhm,
for the rates, just because, well, the resolution for the rates, that set the rates, just because the calculation for it is
outdated or something.
it's ridiculous.
Okay,
Because I have to go through the all cities USA average compared to the Bremerton's, Tacoma, Seattle, all that CPIU average, and then average it together, whichever one. If it's above 3%, we go with that. If it's below 3%, we go with 3%. So it's just,
to try and keep,
yeah, it's just, there's a simple. way to do it.
okay. And will this be done before, you said fall, we would have to look at that again? Will this be, I didn't look at the timeline, would this be done before then? So we would see,
September, right?
Yeah, the goal is to have it been,
Yeah.
by September, October 4, but
Yeah.
okay,
the cost allocation plan might go over.
Yeah, because we need this in order to figure out next year's budget.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if it would benefit the city to look closer at our largest consumer, then I think, I mean, and we have the funds for it. I think we should move forward with that, honestly. I mean, if we've been kind of holding back on rate increases, I mean, as much as I don't like it either, but we do need to catch up. And if that'll get us a little bit more closer and share the wealth, you know, with the increases and stuff, I think that would be a benefit for everybody.
Right, and the biggest thing is provide documentation, like detailed documentation, like
Of
this is
why,
actually what it is.
Yeah.
Instead of like, yeah, we think you should be right there.
okay.
That a $33,000 gap between what was budgeted and what it would cost, where did that 33 grand come from?
14,000 comes out of light power, 5,400 water sewers.
So it's just by saying it would increase the light and power budget by like 14 grand or 15 grand, does that put light and power over like 15,000 over budget as like what was passed in the budget?
No, we'll end up getting a profit. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be, their overall budget will remain the same,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah, we're not.
money
adding-
within the funds will be changed. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And then I didn't look, was there anything unique, like, or maybe I'd looked and I just didn't understand it. Was there anything unique about water, sewer and stormwater that was different, or was it solely on electrical or electricity? Why would, like, the different rate, those different studies? They're our largest consumer of electricity, but I'm assuming they're not our largest, I mean, are they our largest consumer of sewer and water?
No, yeah, they're probably, so,
They don't go to the bathroom.
so their electricity is by far the biggest.
Okay,
That was based off of the additional cost of services provided by SCS, which, the 14,000 plus is the actual system cost. The other 5,400
Okay, okay,
Okay, it's not specifically targeting Simpson, it's looking at Simpson plus our connection fees.
that's right. Okay,
So to be clear, the one that we're looking at is the 93, 395, or are we looking at the one with the 113, 505?
It's gonna be the 113,505, that's that's the 93, 395 plus the 20,110 allocation.
Okay. So the two numbers you gave us,
And that has contingency been built into it also, so that it should not go above that cost. It should be at-
so you said 14,000 from light and power and about 5,400 from water and sewer.
Yeah, $14,760 from the light power, $5,380 from the water, sewer, and stormwater.
I haven't done math in a while, but that doesn't come up to 113,000.
The 30,000 is different between 80,000 and
1,400 and 5,400 comes up to 20,000.
5,400 is at 3 different funds.
3 times.
Oh, times 3. That's what I was missing. Okay, thank you.
Those funds can afford to take the
Okay, yeah,
$5,000 to
yeah.
$15,000 hits.
I was just trying
Significant
to add.
disruption.
One time it didn't do it. 3 times, yes. Okay. Well, I make a motion then that we pass this rate study with the contingency,
I second,
option 1.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Next is the resolution for the surplus vehicles. Oh, yeah, the list is on there. Any questions on surplus vehicles?
I make a motion, we surplus these vehicles.
Second.
We have to do roll call. This is a resolution.
Yes, because of resolution. Yep. So Anne Marie, you prepare and conduct the roll call vote?
Resolutions don't have to be.
Oh, they don't, just ordinance?
Just ordinance.
Okay. All right, well then we got a second. So all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So
You know
pass.
what that resolution number is?
Not here. I want to say it was 7:45.
Okay.
But I'm guessing, I do have it at home. I just don't have it here.
All right.
Okay, food truck ordinance, it got sent out today. It just took a while to get back, so we'll add it to the next one. But if you had any questions, we can address those tonight. We just won't actually vote on it.
And folks, it's a really long ordinance, with lots of definitions, so when you go through it, make sure that, because again, there's millions of things that could probably be changed. So I just want to make sure you understand it's like 16 pages or something, so.
Okay. All right, any of you have any updates? Okay,
A small one.
yeah, go for it.
So I received your email and spoke with Kirsten Harma. She's she heads up the Chehalis Basin Partnership.
Oh, good,
So
got
I-
hold of it. Sweet.
Yeah, so I spoke with her a little bit. She wants someone from McCleary represented on their partnership. So I mean, it fits my wheelhouse. I talked to my supervisor, my actual job, and my regional director. There's a conflict of interest. Their meeting times are during normal business hours. So as like a federal employee, I cannot represent the state of McCleary on government time. I could use annual leave, but I would burn up like 50 hours of annual leave a year doing that, which I'm not. I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna do.
wouldn't want you doing that.
So, yeah, unfortunately, we need to find someone that has a bit of a natural resources background that can meet once a month on a Friday from 9 to noon.
Is it in person or is it virtual?
Right now they're virtual.
Okay,
Yeah, they're on Zoom.
I'm off Fridays. I'd be
Every
happy
Friday?
to help out, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I will.
I can't say I have a background as in-depth as yours, but I'm
But he
willing to
lives down
learn.
the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
speak.
okay.
I mean, the issue for me is I just can't, like, I work on Fridays and I'm out in the Olympics most of the summer, for
Yeah.
a week at a time, so. My issue is I just cannot like represent City of McCleary's interests on government time.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate because being a part of this partnership is actually something I could do as part of my normal job,
Mhm.
but I would have to represent USDA interests.
Okay.
And so it's too much of a conflict, but if you're willing to do
Yeah.
it, I'll put you in touch with her
Okay.
and we can speak about any issues that do pertain to McCleary. I can hopefully provide some
Perfect,
clarity. Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Sweet. Any other updates? You got some?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm trying to wrap my head, but
Let's see. On behalf of Susanna, this week, let me check my calendar. It should be city cleanup on 16th. The one where we do parts of the town. So it's at 9 o'clock in front of the city hall. The 23rd is a citywide cleanup with all the dumpsters over there behind City Hall. Where you can bring all your stuff. What time does that start? 9 as well? 8 o'clock. So that's on the 23rd. Yep. Okay. Like I told everybody in the finance committee, so the rest of you all know, we're working on getting the new police vehicle. They did have one available. We're just trying to get that coordinated so we can actually purchase it. We do have the money. You said it was gonna be 43-ish,
Yes.
and we have 50 in the reserve account for the, so we're gonna coordinate to get that done. I also got coordinated for the vehicles that we have to get the decals, the rest of the light bars and mountings, radios, all that stuff. I'm waiting to get some quotes. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. We're kind of in a few different places, but we're getting a little bit closer. And then the chief that you were asking about. So we haven't closed it. I did get another application. I also got contacted by 2 more people that were interested. One actually has police chief experience in another town. So they both sound like they're interested in applying. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit. Like I said, I want to be patient and get the right person. So as much as I would like to be impatient, just jump on it. I don't want to create a problem just picking anybody. So we're still kind of looking through, I'm examining who we have because we only have 2 that we've interviewed, but I'm still open because we've left it open of other applicants that come through. We'll interview those and kind of see where the process goes. I'm hopeful it'll be done by next month, but I'm also still not rushing it. So,
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for waiting and getting the
Yeah.
right person.
I mean, the fallback, I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing because of the situation, but we are saving money because of it. So, I mean, there is a little good in this situation. We have the cameras, the dash cams have been mounted in the vehicles. We don't have a policy yet. I was talking to Randy about it last night. He said there's some other cities that he knows that already has them. So I'm going to try to find those. I've been apprehensive just because I don't understand it well enough. I could just copy another city's policy, but my concern is if you don't adapt it properly, then is there issues? But like he was telling me last night, he's like, well, you got to send it to the issue or the issue. You got to send it to the union. Those policies, if it's already been adopted by another city, their unions have already approved it. So it's probably good. It's just me. I was kind of waiting for that chief to come in to settle that one. So yeah, so that's why I haven't rushed it yet, but we do have them. They are ready. It's a policy situation. We have completed the PD clerk interviews as well. We did 3 of them. I just haven't started the reference checks. I'm going to try to start that on, I think I actually got time on Friday. That's my attempt. And then from there, with that one, there's still, polygraph background, stuff like that. So I'm hoping some of these will start lining up at the same time. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's everything.
I have some comment, if I could.
We are moving to public comment. So unless there's any other updates from anybody, then
No.
okay, it's all you.
I don't know if you guys are aware of how great an impact you have on this community by supplying the food bank on location. I think we probably fly under your radar. That Bill Wilson is a wonderful manager over there. They've got a good crew. I'm happy to be part of it. And it's just, I think you don't know. I think you just don't know how many people you help. And even homeless. I mean, now statewide, it used to be that you only served your town. Or then it grew to just the surrounding area. Now it's anywhere. And you can drive up there down the lap and get served. We don't, we don't question that. We had a couple of homeless people in through, and all we do is we ask, well, where do you lay your head at night? In McCleary, we don't want to know the address, they don't have an address. Then we just fill out our little card for the data of the state. It's just a numbers game. It's, not by, you could come in there and we could give you anything you wanted, and all we want is your age. We do want your zip code, and that's, so the state's keeping track of it like that. And we also are totally 100% manual.
Mhm.
I wish you could go for a computer program like Omens. And we're going to buy a laptop. We get all the reports on there, so we can streamline it. But the town has been very generous to the food bank. We have the funds to do that. And just thank you all for supporting it.
Thank you. Appreciate all the hard work you all do.
And you guys are there every other Monday, right?
Every
Or
other Monday.
from 8 to
It's-
11,
Well, the time is posted 9 to 11.
9 to 11?
But we open about 8:50.
Okay.
If people are lining up there, we're ready to work, why not? And why make them stand in the cold? Bill even brings in a portable heater, like a patio heater, when it's cold. And the day that it was snowing and icy, he wouldn't let anybody out of their cars. He made them drive in, and we loaded the cars. And then they drove out, and he was the one walking on the ice. He didn't want anyone risking getting hurt. He's on top of it, and he loves it. And he's a former police officer. I don't know if you guys know that. He retired, he says. Like the rest of us retired people.
yeah. She's retired. She's also on the library board
Yes,
and the food bank and the museum.
retire from one place, just move to another.
I know where we are now.
What?
Do we know how old the museum is and when it was built?
Yes, 1926.
Would that maybe be like a historical building or something? Should
Well,
we get funds
the
for that?
problem with making it a historical building is you have to maintain not only the look, but there's a lot of restrictions to it. So we decided not to go that route, but we're still trying to maintain it. I think we upgrade the windows and everything. But yeah.
It's expensive to be a historical building.
Yeah, and in 2026, sorry, we'll be celebrating our 100th year, and the United States will be 250 years old. And the Museum Society itself will be 50 years old. So we're gonna have a party.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I mean,
party.
there are some grants. For example, there is one I think the state has is like a matching, like $1 for $1 or $1 for $2, something like that.
Oh, we just.
Actually,
applied
we're
for it.
applying for that.
We
Yeah,
applied
so,
for it today.
but it just, there's not necessarily a lot of funding
Yeah.
for that stuff.
Grace Harbor Community Foundation has given us 2 grants. One we got upgraded furnace and our AC for the summer. So we can invite.
And we've sold at least 1 million Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah. Now it's only oranges and grapefruits. So come on, follow me.
Chris, if I may,
Yes,
I'd like to put a plug to the council for our volunteer fire department. We're down head count. They need resources. If there's anything to do recruitment, money wise, or whatever you can do to support the fire department, we're down head count and they need support.
how many?
3.
3?
I was able to go over there on Monday and talk with them, and they talked about the challenges of trying to staff a volunteer program, which I can understand and appreciate. So that's why when I was looking at the first responder thing, if there's, I understand that it's not a paid position, but if we can even get our name out,
So
and I know we're in a,
PST can do firefighters,
yeah,
and I'm going to assume, but and that's why I told Todd, I'll let him and Paul figure out if they want to go that route.
Mhm.
But when I did talk to John about reserve police officers, they will do the recruitments in that for as well, which is unpaid typically.
Mhm.
So I'm just assuming, like I said, I didn't get in conversation about firefighters because I was focused on police department, but I assume that they'll literally do all of it.
yeah.
When we had the reserves, I don't know how they do it now, but back in the 70s, the sheriff's department, we had to buy your own clothes at the time for the reserves, so I just wondered, does the city have an office?
Some departments do that, some don't.
Yeah.
We,
We will have to figure that out.
we've been paying for the.
Yeah,
reserves.
I mean, I have no problem with us. If we pay for it, but then we own it. So if they leave, they have to give it
That's
back.
what a lot of them do like that. Back then, I can remember we had to buy our own things, stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was just guys that had retired too, turned their stuff in so other people could use it.
Yeah.
There's a concern with the amount that will retire out, that we won't be ahead of the curve. It's not.
Yeah.
fall off
Which
the
is
curve.
the challenge Elma had.
All the baby boomers are getting old.
Yeah.
Of which I am one.
And to go back, because I know some of you had various questions about the Parks Rec plan. So I just want to clarify a couple things.
Mm.
So there was 2 surveys done, and the second one was more to kind of clarify and update and revalidate the other one. So that's why some questions are the same, some questions are different. It was just kind of expand. For some of you who were concerned about the amount of stuff that's in there, we have to reflect everything that the community mentioned. So if they listed a comment of, it doesn't matter what, and it was one person, we had to put it in there. It has to reflect everything. It doesn't mean we're going to do it. And then in terms of what we're going to work on, we don't have a priority because right now we need the plan.
Mhm.
And you need the plan in order to get the land acquisition grants. And there's 3 of them available and they're due May 3rd. And that's what we're trying to figure out. So we will have a resolution at the next meeting that we could pass, which will help us then apply for those. Once you get the land and we can acquire that, then we can get a parks planner or with ourselves or how we go about that. We can say, okay, here's all these ideas. How do you fit them in? They start mapping that out. Then in 2 years, or whether it's private grants or in 2 years, we go for more RCO grants. And then we start figuring out how to make those happen. So it is going to be a step-by-step process. The plan is good for 6 years and then you have to redo it again. So, this is just the first step of this process. So.
I appreciated looking at all the comments because you can definitely see trends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, and that's where my comments came in is, there's, when it's a repetitive need or request or whatever, then, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were.
The biggest.
And then
So-
nobody asked this one, but just so you're aware, so the appendix that has the comments, the reason why it only reflects from the first survey is the second survey were different questions.
Mm.
And literally all the comments that we got had to do with streets and like us stuff that had nothing to do with parks. That one we left some of it in there because it was kind of mixed. The other one literally had nothing, the comments had nothing to do with Parks and Rec. So only the survey responses themselves were put in the plan. So we worked that out with, when Todd and I sent it to Zana Dennis, she actually came in with, because the renewal council was the one working on that. And she was kind of working with us a few different meetings, trying to put all this together. So she said it wasn't necessary to put that in because we had the initial ones.
So question, you were talking about the fire department. You said you were down to 3. How many do they have total right now?
So right now they have 20
20?
and you guys like to keep it around 23. And Paul was telling me that it's based on a population, like 10 to about 1,000 people.
Right.
Okay. And is that to be, I didn't ask this, but is that to like be a certified department then? Or is that
No.
just what you guys want?
It's kind of what we want, and if those boards responding, because we don't have such shifts there. We're all spread out throughout the community.
You can't plan your fires between 8 and 5.
No, I wish we would. It makes it a lot easier. But, no, we're lucky, we're extremely lucky right now, like this day, Paul, myself, Brad, Rob, Corey, so we have 5 guys on the city crew that have the fire department, so we have good response to the, I know other times nice weekends, if people are up at Cushman, people are at Sun Lake, people are camping, I mean, you might get two. So,
When there's a fire, does it call directly to their house? Or sometimes the siren goes off, sometimes it doesn't.
The siren's supposed to go off every single time. We have radios that go off. We also have pagers that go off, and now we have direct test messages with the GIS works.
It needs to be an emphasis on improvement.
I mean, can it be 18 or 20, you have to be 21 or
I believe it's
18?
I think that's where some support's needed.
All right. So with that, we will move over to executive session. Chris, how much time do you need?
I'd probably say 15 minutes.
Okay,
There'll be no
So-
action. There'll be no action afterwards.
okay. So we'll be out for 15 minutes. For those of you where, yeah, when we come back, we're just adjourning. There's no more anything else. So,
7:45.
yep. So we will go into the other room, the side room for the executive session.
Hello?
that portion
No, but I mean the results.
of the 7,000.
Yeah.
That is, yes, because that's decided.
That's a public. that's-
Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna go out and tell
Yep.
anybody. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, that part is done. It's the rest of it that isn't.
Okay,
That's why when we listed it was potential continued,
okay.
because we don't know what the end result's
We
gonna
don't know
be.
the results.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's kind of like part two of the situation.
yeah, because
That
I'm
makes sense.
just, I imagine that it will get out there from her. And so I didn't know,
I can't do anything about that.
I just
So-
didn't know what was confidential.
So, okay. So unless there's any last minute things everybody wants to throw out, we will,
Come back in session.
was that?
Gotta come back in session.
Oh, I actually have to call, okay, we're coming back in session. Thank you. All right. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?
I.
All right, so adjourn.
Well, you know, with all the stuff on this agenda, we got through it pretty stinking fast.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing.